Late shift's over. On my way back to the house. I am tired right now. Long week, long day, coming to an end. It's going to be long again tomorrow. Got to go with a pile of babies tomorrow, and then at 12:35. That's my time for tomorrow. I will punch the clock here in Northfield Park and head to the Meadows. I will be going last trip with pull the shoes. So 12:35. Whatever race is on, whatever qualifier is done at that point, I'm gone. And that is the plan for tomorrow. Now, tonight, as I said, I brought you the video from this morning. I'm just talking about updates and random things that were going on, entries, results, recaps. This afternoon, I want to talk about how the horse is trained. And I did talk about the first two races. Born to Dance race great. We just got to get a fly screen on him, maybe a bigger shadow. I'm going to have to break down and do it because you can see he jumped over that shadow. I knew it was there. And it was a new shadow for him because he hadn't raced at night before. So he's kind of getting used to shadows in the last turn, but they weren't there today. The ones down the backstretch were there. The one coming out of the turn was there. And you could see him look at it and make a break. They didn't chart him. He didn't make a break, but he did skip over it. So it makes it really difficult to race. Now, if this is like a stake race tonight, and he's 40 cents on the dollar or whatever it was, I would have removed him to the front, but I can't do that because I can't trust him on the front right now. So we're going to have to make a few little changes heading into next week. We will race him again next week. I'm trying to get him tight and get a real good feel for this guy as we head into what could be a very big race for him, for all of us, on July the 1st with Born to Dance. Now, rewound to the first race. I don't really want to talk about it much. The stitching and the hobbles broke for Mo Power Baby, and it was circumstances, but I feel that was on me a little bit, and I'll make up for it, and she'll make up for it next week. As I said, the only takeaway on the positive side from that race is that once you're out of that class, you're out of that class, and she will win her way out of that class in the next 2-3 starts. Then we went to the late show. I had a couple of drives in between. I think I won one. How bad is that? Yeah, I did win one. Almost won the last one too. We went to Stonebridge Acadi. I just thought he was a bit flat tonight. I know Greg sent me a wonderful email after saying I wish he had stayed in the 2-hole. Very blunt, but Greg is, and in hindsight, obviously, I wish I stayed in the 2-hole too. The problem with the 2-hole was this. I felt the biggest concern I had in the race was Aaron Merriman, and he made a break in the first turn. I felt that the rest of the horses, as I still do, were a little bit inferior to what Hakati should have been. Now, granted, he wasn't getting a great trip his last couple of races, and he didn't put forth what I would say a fantastic effort. So he was coming in a little shaky, I guess. I just felt that I didn't want to be first over, and I didn't want to be in a bad spot, and I felt if I didn't move right there that Ryan Stoll would. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe he wouldn't have. And if he did, now I'm in the 3-hole. And I said I'm not coming first over. I don't know how good the horse that at the time was on the front would be. Is he going to carry me? Am I going to get pinned in? You know what? I still think I have the best horse in the race. I'm going to put him in the proper position. I just looped him around to the lead. And really, Hakati usually gives you a pop when you move him. Like when you put him in gear, he'll trot for a little way. He fizzles out, but he'll trot. He didn't tonight. It was just a constant grind all the way to the wire. He really didn't jump forward when I kicked the plugs in the last turn. He didn't fight when the horse wheeled up alongside of him. He just kind of was present. Just present. And, he was second. It wasn't the end of the world. But I do believe it was his race to win or lose, and he chose to lose. So, not a great performance from him tonight, but not horrible. He got a second. I think it's pretty obvious now. He's not terrible. He did trot 56 in a piece, and if that class stays soft as it was tonight, I believe it makes all the sense in the world. Yeah, leave him along the rail, try and get him bravened up, and spark him back up. He wasn't just horrible. He was just okay tonight, just a little flat. And then Horn Player, Horn Player's like a sports team that lost all its players. So we're just kind of in a rebuild with this filly. When you go back and look at Oak Grove last week, they could have charted her with a break. She could have been on the list. They said they trained her rather hard, and she trained well. I don't believe the training took a lot out of her. I don't believe anything did. In fact, when you look at the race, she trotted her last half in 57 seconds today. Last quarter in 29 flat. maybe had her in a little lull, right? A little too conservative with horn player tonight. I had the 7-hole. She's coming off some rather questionable performances, and I did drive her a little conservative. And quite frankly, I knew when they get over the half in a minute, I'm like, oh, this isn't turning out real well. And at that point, what are you going to do? I know I won with the filly on the front end. I know she's pretty decent grassrooter. She's not going to give it up. The race is pretty much over from my standpoint. I'm 9 or 10 lengths back at this point. She did what she could. I don't think it was a great mile, but mathematically it wasn't a horrible mile. 59 last half, 57 last quarter, and 29. As I said, a rebuild. I'll tell you what she was, though. Safe as a church tonight. So we can work with that. The ones that you have to coddle them and watch them, and they still don't race very good, and you're like, oh, now what am I going to do? But with her, she actually felt good. She felt good at the gate. At no point did I feel that she was going to make a break tonight. So I guess that's the takeaway. Pretty flat performance from her. Could it have been the training? I warmed her up real hard. Could have been a number of things, yes. But I'm still going to focus on the positive portion of tonight, which that she stayed flat. She didn't feel like she was going to make a break anywhere. She did try the last half in 57 and 1, I think, or 57 flat. And she did try the last quarter in 29 seconds. So all of those are positive. The ultimate, when you step back and look at the entire body of work, it was flat. In fact, both the late 2 horses were quite flat in my mind. We can work with that. And the first 2 horses were good. Born to Dance just gonna have to cover him up a little bit more because he's still looking and seeing stuff. We're here now. We did the best we could all spring. I don't feel we could have done anything differently with Born to Dance to get him to this point. But now that we are here and we are racing, we're going to have to call an audible. We're going to have to pivot. That little shadow roll is not going to cut it. We're going to have to put a little something bigger on him, maybe put a fly screen on him, and see how he is next week. That's the plan with Born to Dance, but lots of speed there. 28 and 1 on the end of it, and really pretty good little dipsy-do coming out of the last turn, or it would have been 27 and a piece probably. And Mo Power Baby was great. Just pitched the whole line. The hobbles broke. If they don't break, I'm first or second, and I'll be first and second next week with her. So with that, I'll let you guys go. It's been a long day. It's going to be a long day again tomorrow, but pretty good night all in all. Take care.